My husband left me in a hospital bed for my assistant. While I was building his career and dying from exhaustion, he was in the next room making future plans with her. I smiled, signed the divorce papers, and quietly waited. Because he had no idea what I'd just signed an hour earlier. This is the story of how a devoted wife was betrayed at her darkest moment and rose back up with a $2.5 billion surprise. Victoria Hayes's calm determination became a massive shock for Michael Torres and taught him the lesson of his life. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, Victoria's story will feel familiar. But pay attention, how this story ends might surprise you, because the secret Victoria was hiding was bigger than Michael could ever imagine. What started in this Seattle hospital didn't just end a marriage, it revealed Victoria's true power. And now you're about to learn the full extent of that power. Victoria Hayes opened her eyes in the intensive care unit of Swedish Medical Center in Seattle. And the first thing she felt wasn't pain, wasn't sear, just deep exhaustion. She was 34 years old and had just realized that her body had betrayed her while she was managing the technology company she'd built her life around. Up until 6 months ago, Victoria Hayes and Michael Torres were seen as one of Seattle's most successful couples. Victoria was the CEO of Tech Vision Solutions, a company working in artificial intelligence and data analysis. Michael worked as a marketing director, but only because of Victoria. Everyone who knew them understood how devoted Victoria was to Michael. When Michael's career was failing, Victoria had opened a position for him in her own company. When Michael's project failed, Victoria spent nights correcting his reports. When Michael's confidence was shaken, Victoria held him up, made him believe in himself. But for the past 6 months, something had changed. Michael had started coming home later and later. He was taking phone calls in other rooms. Instead of answering Victoria's questions, he talked about work stress. That night, Victoria stayed alone in the office, preparing the biggest deal that would determine her company's future. DataCore Industries wanted to buy Victoria's company. The price? $2.5 billion. But Victoria hadn't told anyone about this, not even Michael. She wanted to surprise him. When she woke up in the hospital, Victoria's first thought was Michael. Where was he? Why wasn't he beside her? But when evening came, Michael's behavior was strange. He was avoiding eye contact. His phone kept ringing and he'd go outside to talk. That night, Victoria couldn't sleep. Around 11 p.m., Victoria heard a familiar voice from the corridor. It was Michael's voice. But who was he talking to? Victoria got out of bed and went to the door. She listened. "I can't stand it anymore," Michael was saying. "Victoria is constantly working. She talks about work even at home. She never makes time for me." "I know," said another voice. A woman's voice, and it sounded familiar. Victoria's breath caught. This voice, it was Rachel's voice. Her assistant, Rachel. "When are you going to tell her?" Rachel asked. "Very soon," Michael said. "I've prepared the divorce papers." "Really?" Rachel's voice rose with excitement. "What about her money? Victoria's company is very valuable." Michael laughed. "In the divorce agreement, the company will be split. Half will be mine." Victoria quietly returned to her room. Tears were flowing, but she made no sound. 2 years. Rachel had been working beside her for 2 years. She had trusted her, shared secrets with her, seen her as family. The next morning, when Michael entered her hospital room, he had a brown envelope in his hand. His face was determined, but he wasn't looking into Victoria's eyes. "Victoria, we need to talk about something important," Michael said, placing the envelope on the table. Victoria looked at the envelope. "What's that?" "Divorce papers." Victoria's world stopped. "What?" "This marriage can't continue anymore. We're both going in different directions." Victoria remembered the conversation she heard last night. "Is there someone else?" Michael hesitated. "That's not important. What's important is that we're both happy." Victoria reached for the envelope. Inside were divorce papers and a property division agreement. She read it. Michael was right. He wanted half of the company. "You betrayed me," Victoria said, her voice monotone. Victoria read the papers again. Then she took her pen and signed every page. Michael was surprised. He expected screaming, crying, fighting. After Michael left, Victoria picked up her phone and called her lawyer, Marcus Williams. "Marcus, Victoria Hayes, there's a problem. My husband is trying to divorce me. He thinks he'll get half the company. But last night, you signed the Datacore agreement. The company is now sold for $2.5 billion. "What do you want to do?" Marcus asked. Victoria took a deep breath. "Everything." At 3 p.m., Marcus Williams came to the hospital. "Victoria, these signatures are officially valid. Your company shares have been sold for $2.5 billion. Michael has no rights whatsoever. First, I'll close all our joint accounts. Every account, every credit card that Michael has access to will be canceled. Second, Michael's position in the company will be terminated. Third, Rachel Kim will also be fired and blacklisted so she can't find work at any tech company." The next morning, when Michael went to the office, his card didn't work at the door. A security guard was waiting for him. "Mr. Torres, unfortunately, your access has been canceled. Your position has been terminated." At the same time, Rachel Kim was experiencing a similar situation. Her card wasn't working, her desk was emptied, her belongings were packed in a box. That afternoon, Michael and Rachel were panicking. Michael's credit cards had been canceled, bank accounts were inaccessible, Rachel wasn't getting any job offers from any company. It was as if the entire industry knew something about her. 3 days later, Victoria held a press conference at the luxury Four Seasons Hotel in Seattle. When Victoria stepped onto the podium, she was greeted with applause. She wore a gray suit, and instead of the fatigue of previous days, there was determination in her eyes. "I sold Tech Vision Solutions to Datacore Industries for $2.5 billion. I will donate a large portion of the money from this sale to a foundation I'll establish to support women entrepreneurs." After the press conference, Victoria moved to her new home. In Bellingham, north of Seattle, a modern house with an ocean view. There, she was making plans for her new foundation. She didn't know what Michael and Rachel were doing. She didn't care either, because she was now focused on the future. 3 months later, while Victoria was walking on the bridge, someone called from behind. "Victoria!" It was Michael. He had changed a lot. He was thinner, there was regret in his eyes. "I'm sorry," Michael said, "for everything. I made a huge mistake. Can we go back?" Victoria looked at Michael one last time. "Michael, you brought me divorce papers in a hospital bed. You never felt ashamed. You're only coming now because you've lost everything. No, it's too late now. I've built a new life." Victoria turned and continued walking. She wasn't looking back anymore. And that's how Victoria Hayes didn't just escape betrayal, she also discovered her own power and used her $2.5 billion success to help others. If you also enjoy these kinds of powerful stories, don't forget to subscribe to our Hidden Hearth channel, because every day we share stories of people who face life's challenges and manage to stay standing.